So Francisco Alvarez, if you are a Mets fan and you don't know this guy's name by now, you really should. 20-year-old catcher, Mets top prospect. He's currently ranked number 7 overall on MLB Pipeline in top 100. He's built like a mini fridge, 5'10", 233. Now, at first glance, we know that this kid can hit. We've pretty much known this since he signed when he was 17 years old. And this year in Binghamton, he is slashing 275, 348, 559 with a 142 WRC plus in 221 plate appearances. Now, he does strike out a little bit more than you'd like, but he does walk enough to offset that concern. So, is it possible that the Mets can call up Francisco Alvarez, even though granted the position that he plays?
People can take this two different ways. I've seen a lot of people complain, oh, you got to wait for his defense to be absolutely amazing and get as best as it possibly can. And you have the camp that just says, you know what, if the guy can hit, just let him hit. And the defense is secondary. In the last 15 games, slash line of 356 with a 409 on base, an 898 slug, 5 doubles, 9 homers, 14 RBIs in the last 15 games. He did the same thing in early April and most of April, and once May hit, he kind of hit like a 2-week slump. Besides that 2 weeks, end of May into June, he's back to hitting just absolutely Juan Sotoing AA, and it's something I've said. If he wants Soto's AA, I want him as fast as possible, get in at triple. I mean, I'd say you can bring him up because obviously the value you're getting from the catching position right now for the Mets is literally nothing, but get him up to AAA. There's no one ahead of him in AAA. If he keeps hitting like that, I don't know why they're just keeping him in Binghamton. Get him up there to face AAA pitching. If he does it again, then you can make the argument at the trade deadline. If the Mets don't add a Carson Kelly or Wilson Contreras via trade, that could be your trade deadline catcher.
Now, yesterday, Greg Joyce of the New York Post put out a piece regarding the skill level that he's at compared to the guys at his typical age. Now, as for defense, that has been his initial room for improvement. Now, he was originally scouted as an offensive ceiling of Salvador Perez and a defensive ceiling of Will Smith. Now, defensive metrics are extremely hard to obtain for minor leaguers. The front office usually holds on to them throughout the year. I don't really know why they do that, but I guess it's classified information. But some information has slipped through the cracks. Now, Binghamton manager Reed Brignac did say that Alvarez is, quote unquote, tops in the Eastern League in framing. Mets director of player development Kevin Howard also cited a metric that Alvarez is one of the top 5 receivers in all of the minor leagues. And to be honest, he's actually not wrong. Not only has Alvarez improved defensively, he is one of the best defensive catchers in AA this year. Now, his current framing on a run scale is 6.37. Now, that would be 0.35 runs more worth of framing than the current major league leader in Jose Trevino. And these hot zones that he has are absolutely ridiculous if you take a look at them.
What you just said there is so informational, I just threw it out of my mind because, again, cool, he is improved defensively, and that was, like you said, the biggest bugaboo with Francisco Alvarez going into spring training. It's great to hear that he has improved, and he is one of these, now he's becoming a generational framer. Cool. I don't care. You don't want a complete turnstile behind the plate where it leaves again. The biggest, especially, I know a lot of people have turned since seeing defense and catchers matter, and it does, obviously. You know, they're involved in every single pitch in every single game. If he improves and becomes average, that's all I need him to be defensively. If he becomes, a great two-way catcher, and that's what all Mets fans should want. But like you said, Will Smith's the kind of guy I would want. Be average and hopefully can continue to improve defensively, but just flat out hit. So for me, it's cool to see all the improvements. And I know, like I said, I don't know why minor league baseball is like so close to the vest with their analytics, and we'll see. It's great to see the improvement, but again, that's not what's going to get him to the big leagues faster.
Now, to defend the nerds here, I think we all knew that it was possible that he could be up, especially when you look at this position at the major league level. You have James McCann, who's absolutely dog shit. Tomas Nido, who's a great defender, but he doesn't really do much in hitting. Then you have Patrick Mazeika, who's Patrick Mazeika. You have some guys in AAA like Nick Mayer and like Nick Deeney, but there's nothing really special that you're seeing at this catcher position. As for the catcher position, it should be a defensive first position. That is something that needs to be a guarantee. The only thing is that I was never really worried about his defense in general. If he's not good defensively from the get-go, I mean, that's just something that happens. The thing is that he has room to improve. There's been tons of catchers, such as one man named Omar Narvaez, who always been able to hit the cover off the ball, but his defense has never really been the best coming up through the minors. He completely improved. He is one of the best defensive catchers in baseball now. There's always room to improve defensively, and that's something that I'm willing to see him do, especially with a lot of veteran pitchers that we have. They can definitely be some kind of mentor. I love the veteran core that we have on this team. I really wish it would be good if you called up some of these young players, a la guys like Michael Conforto in 2015. You had a lot of veterans on that team. He jumped AAA and he came up and he was pretty good. Now, granted, that's a different position that we're talking about, but all I can say is that there's room for improvement. He's only going to get better. If he gets worse, then he probably will never play the catcher position at the major league level.
I'm fine with bringing these guys up young and you get more of their best years younger. I'd rather call him up at age 20, have him struggle, but learn in the big leagues. And again, he is the only catcher on this roster. You are the future of this team. You are the catcher. So there is no guy breathing down his neck. It's his job for the next, hopefully, decade to 2 decades. If he's up at age 20, he'll let the growing pains go. He's going to struggle because every young kid struggles. But there is a chance he can be Juan Soto where he just comes up straight away and he's just hitting. And I think that's a possibility. I wouldn't bank on him becoming Juan Soto because nobody's Juan Soto. Who cares if you're losing the extra year of service time? Because when it comes down to a contract, you're going to be paying him at age 26, kind of like Bryce Harper. He got up at 19 free agency at age 26. I would be more comfortable you bring him up at age 20 in his free agent year at age 27 for giving him a 10-year deal, giving him the long-term deals because you're going to pay him at age 26 or 27 rather than paying these guys when they're 30 or 31.
You need to call Alvarez to AAA right now. He's obviously been a great overall player in AA this year so far. He's more advanced compared to the average 20-year-old player. And in the process, 2 September call-ups for when you expand your roster to that process, because remember that Alvarez is not on the 40-man roster right now. Remember that just try out Nick Mayer, try out Nick Dini. If Francisco Alvarez is dominating AAA by September 1st when the roster call-ups start. If not, you'll wait until opening day to see that if he can make the opening day roster.
You really love the Wilpon way of playing baseball. That is the definition of what the Wilpons are doing. That's what they would do with this kid. There's no more of this service time crap. Steve Cohen and the App Dog has showed. If you deserve to be here, you'll be here. If you don't, you will not be here. I'm not saying you call him up right now, but you being
these guys timelines, Nick Dini and Nick,
they're scrubs.
Their timelines, they're like 25, 26 years old. At least give them one chance.
No,
right?
No, they don't
see what they can do. To maybe possibly be the backup to Alvarez, right?
If you're telling me Alvarez continues to just hit and tells them, oh, no, I am not waiting. I'm going to make you call me up. You're telling me you're going to pick these guys with a mustache and Nick Mayer.
I'm saying while he's in AAA.
No. You send them
try these guys out. So hold on. So you would like to say while he's in AAA, while you bring him up to AAA, you'd like Patrick Mazeika to be the backup catcher while James McCann is hurt because he hurt his hand jerking off.
McCann's going to be back in like 2 weeks. So again, we're not talking.
He will not.
He'll be back in 2 weeks. He's already swinging.
Not a possibility.
It's possible.
I don't think so. Not at all.
Back in 2 weeks.
They said the recovery was going to be 6 to 8 weeks.
No,
then he's going to have to do some rehab. Obviously, because he hurt his hand, right? He needs to catch with his hand, even though he doesn't really do much of that.
So now he's going to get in the way of these Nick Dinis and his Nick Mayer. You only like him because he posted a picture with a trader in Noah Syndergaard and said, hey, that guy looks dope. I want to see him
I'm just saying, for the meantime, to September, call up these guys instead of Patrick Mazeika, who we know sucks.
But also the organization's told you that we would prefer Patrick Mazeika than these two.
See what you can get from them. Maybe they can be a backup catcher, and then you can say, James McCann, get the fuck out of here.
Nick Dini, the AAA catcher, is already 29 years old.
I'm literally just saying, for the time being, see what you can get from these guys. Why not?
Put McNeil behind the plate.
You don't have any timeline or timetable for James McCann. Everyone's just make guesses. You might as well, aside with Tomas Nido, say, let's bring up Nick Mayer. Let's see what Nick Dini can do. And then if Alvarez is hitting in AAA, you call him up at September.
If you want a washed up catcher, just sign your mean Mercedes. I'd rather see him than these two jabronis working at Walmart in 2 years.
That's literally what you signed as your catcher, though. That's what your catcher is doing, making $40 million. He's literally playing at the same level as Nick Dini and Nick Mayer. You're not getting any value from the catcher position. So see what you can get with these catchers. Why not let Alvarez hit in AAA? Let him catch for some guys in AAA who have been in the majors before. And
if you're just going to deal with these bum ass Nick Zinis and
I'm saying that you call up Alvarez when he's hitting in AAA. Let the guy hit in AAA. I'm saying be smart. I'm saying be smart with this position. It's the catcher position.
Exactly. So you don't get any production anyway. If you're going to continue to have these bum ass Dean, just keep Mazika and Nito. Have some balls.
The guy's 20 years old. The guy is 20 years old.
Exactly.
He's not 22. He's not 24 when guys regularly get called up. I understand that he's past that advanced level of the typical 20-year-old, but just try and see what he does in AAA first.
No, we need him on the roster right now because when we win the World Series,
he's not even on the 40-man roster.
There's so many guys we could send into the incinerator for that. Literally, I can name you about 12 right now, including Patrick Mazika getting DFA. But we need him on the roster when we win the World Series this year, and he has to sit outside the clubhouse drinking apple juice because he's not 21. So he can't be in the celebration. He has to go sit in the corner outside with some apple juice and a muffin. What type of muffin? Definitely eating a chocolate chip muffin. Chocolate chip muffin slap.
That's the first thing that I actually agree with you on.